Hi, I'm Zandy Peters, and in this video I'm going to show you how to do one of these left slanting twisted stitches, also known as a two-stitch left slanting cable. I'm going to show you 3 different ways of doing it, but before I do that, let's look at them in context. They also sometimes look like this, where you can see these lines crossing each other right there. This is my new Stroopwafel Shawl pattern. Let's get started. If you're reading a pattern, you're going to see a symbol that looks like this in a chart, or you might see an abbreviation like this. I use LT in my patterns for left twist, or you might see one of these other ways of writing it in traditional cable notation. I'm going to need a cable needle while I'm working some of these, so I'm using a locking stitch marker instead. They're just a little bit lighter, so the stitches are less likely to fall off or get twisted as I'm working. And then I'm going to use that in the first one. I'll show you how to do it without a cable needle, and then I'll show you how to do it a different way without a cable needle. So let's get going. I'm going to purl up to the spot where I'm ready to work my first left twist. And this one with the cable needle looks like this. I'm going to take my locking stitch marker, and I'm going to transfer 1 stitch onto it and then put that to the front of the work. I'm going to knit that next stitch off the needle. Then I'm going to pick up the stitch from the cable needle. I can either work directly off of this, or I can transfer this back on to the left-hand needle without twisting it, hopefully, and then just knit that stitch to complete the twist. There it is. So I'm going to work on in the row, and this time I'm going to show you what it looks like when I'm working through a pattern and I don't want to use a cable needle. Sometimes it's just easy, and it's a time saver to not use one, but we are going to be dropping stitches off the needle, so if you're uncomfortable doing that, just go with the cable needle version. I'm going to drop the first stitch off the needle. Now, if I don't pull, it shouldn't go anywhere, but be careful. While that's off the needle, I'm going to knit into the second stitch, being careful not to yank anything too hard. Then I'm going to reach forward with my left-hand needle, grab that stitch that I just dropped, put it back on the needle, and then knit that stitch. And there's my twist without a cable needle. And now I'm going to show you a third version. This one's the trickiest to learn, but nothing has to be dropped off the needle, and you don't need any cable needles to complete this. Here's what it looks like. I'm going to be working my twist into these first 2 stitches on the needle, and the first step is to reach in behind the first stitch and insert my needle tip into the front of that second stitch. It's really kind of hard to do physically, but it should look like this. See how the needle's going in, but it's not catching any part of the first stitch on the needle? Then I'm going to make my stitch as I normally would, however you do that. And then I'm going to knit into that first stitch on the needle. When I slide both stitches off of the needle, they will be twisted. So that's the third method. I hope that you enjoyed this video and that you'd like to see more of my knit tips here on YouTube, or you can follow me on Instagram at Zandy Peters or on TikTok at zandy.peters.